Now, you coined the term judicial insurrection to describe the manner in which Democrat-appointed activist judges are trying to usurp the authority of the president, the will of the American people. And there's been another example of that, Josh, since we last spoke. The federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's dismantling of the Department of Education. Now, before you tell me more about this, this is a policy that did not start with Trump. This plan to get rid of a department that is really an impediment to education outcomes of American children, it started with this man.
I would like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education created by President Carter and turn schools back to the local school districts.
Okay.
Josh, Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Can Trump pull this off?
Well, what Reagan said is right. This is a creature of the Jimmy Carter era. President Carter signs the relevant statute from Congress into law in the late 1970s, and every single Republican president since Ronald Reagan has vowed to shut down the Department of Education. Now, two things can be true at once, Rita. It probably technically does take an act of Congress to formally abolish the education department the same way that it took an act of Congress to promulgate it in the first instance. However, on the other hand, the president does have the ability to effectively all but eliminate it via sheer force of attrition, because he is the executive. He controls the executive branch, and he can sign executive orders that effectively result in the layoffs or the firing or the early terminations, whatever you want to call it, of the overwhelming majority of the education department bureaucracy there. So yes, it would probably take a literal act of Congress to actually tear down that sign, for the federal government to sell the building to some private developer, whatever there, but he can do it on his own. However, this obstinate federal judge, who is very much part of the judicial insurrection, who was trying to stop him there, is just wildly overstepping his bounds, like so many judges. Rita, this is the number one thing. This is literally the number one thing that the Trump administration is going to have to get comfortable taking on. They're doing a great job when it comes to so many issues there. They've been bold and aggressive when it comes to tariff policy, when it comes to all sorts of foreign policy. They're taking on these black robe tyrants in the least dangerous branch in Article 3, the judicial branch there. That is the name of the game right now. They really are going to have to, I think, to grow a pair here. It's easier said than done. I don't have all the solutions there, but this is the big threat right now to Donald Trump's agenda more than anything else. It is the judicial insurrection.
Well said, Josh Hammer. Thank you so much for your time tonight.